For all of us, our Jamaat institutional work is a learning process in two ways. First, we learn that all our efforts must be grounded in our ethics. Secondly, we learn from Khudavand the requirement to continue updating our approach to institutional management and governance so as to best deliver to the Jamaat the services that it requires. As a Imam, many of us here share this experience. Each time we feel that we have achieved an established goal or objective, Khudavand sets a new challenge for us. This is an illustration of the Imam's tradition, that in an ever-evolving world, the Jamaati institutions and leaders have to be constantly on their toes.
My dear leaders, this morning my wish when I left the Darbar was that every Murid would rejoice. That was my wish, that was my hope, that was my prayer. Tonight I am rejoicing. The quality of leadership is what defines really the ability of a community or a country or an institution to perform. And the Jamaat and I am very, very fortunate to have had wonderful leadership, decade after decade, of the five that I can remember. As time evolves ahead of us, I think we should keep in mind that the leadership of the Jamaat that is there today, that will be there in the future, is going to be effective if it is qualified, if it is loyal, and if it is united. And I am very excited by the prospects that I see ahead of our institutions in Africa and elsewhere, because I do genuinely feel convinced that the decades ahead will be very, very exciting for our Jamaat worldwide. If we're able to continue to build in the various parts of the world where we are, look after the Jamaats which today are weak and which deserve our attention, continue to invest in intelligence and knowledge, because that, after all, has been a sign of success throughout the history of the Ummah. You cannot find in the history of the Ummah any period which was not rooted in the knowledge society of the time. We are very fortunate because our faith tells us that is the direction in which we have to go. And I hope that this evening you will continue to rejoice. That's going to be my wish, my happiness, that you rejoice this evening. Have a wonderful time, and let the whole of the Jamaat know that you're having a wonderful time. Thank you very much for a lovely evening, a beautiful gift, absolutely beautiful gift. And I must admit that having been involved in Africa for many, many years, it's quite correct that the Maasai have a long, extraordinary history that we all know about, and which teaches us that every part of the world has culture, and culture that we can learn from. And the Maasai and many other tribes have extraordinary traditions which deserve being respected. This has been a wonderful evening, and I am going to be rejoicing now and later. Thank you. Just looking at the Giacometti. Thank you for joining us. Khudafis, and see you soon. Wonderful. Thank you. Good night. Good night. And rejoice, don't go home.
this opportunity on my own behalf and the people of Zanzibar to congratulate Your Highness for the Golden Jubilee of your leadership of the worldwide Ismaili community. You have been an inspirational leader in this world today. I'm glad to note that Zanzibar in some way benefits from some of the services of your development network, particularly in education. I'm aware that having been brought up in East Africa, you are familiar with Zanzibar and the aspirations of our people. We are determined to develop our country's economy, social services, and infrastructure. In our endeavors for change, we've been asking for development partners to join us. I welcome the Aga Khan Development Network to increase its cooperation with us, especially in the areas in which it has made a great mark in East Africa and the world in general. The promotion of health and education services in Zanzibar by the network will be welcome and appreciated. I believe that the Aga Khan Foundation in Tanzania will find it useful and in line with your philosophy to extend some of its operations in Zanzibar. We are looking forward to that cooperation. I wish to add here that the Ismaili community in Zanzibar is a very willing partner in our development efforts, and its members are very good citizens. They have made a mark in trade and economic activities which are appreciated by all of us. Your Highness, once again, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to Zanzibar and to provide us an opportunity, albeit a brief one, to exchange views on various matters of mutual interest. On my own behalf and the entire people of Zanzibar, we wish you a successful visit here and elsewhere in Tanzania. We pray to the Almighty God to grant you long life and good health to continue serving the Ismaili community and mankind in general. Congratulations again, and thank you so much.
Your Excellency the President, Excellencies, I would like to tell you how enormously happy I am to be here in Zanzibar on the occasion of my Golden Jubilee. It was in 1905, therefore over 100 years ago, that my grandfather established the first school for women in Zanzibar. And therefore you will understand the attachment of the Ismaili community and my family to this wonderful island. 100 years of history, 100 years of history together. I would like to say also that we have already got good collaboration in a number of areas. We have collaboration in our madrasa program to upgrade the early childhood education in Zanzibar. We have collaboration in healthcare. We have collaboration in the NGO Resource Center to develop civil society in Zanzibar. But very frankly, I would like to have much more collaboration in the years ahead. I think there are many opportunities, but there are some exceptional ones. The opportunities are in the field of not only early childhood education, but primary education, secondary education, and indeed tertiary education, as the Aga Khan University develops its activities in the East African community. There are opportunities in healthcare. As we develop our Faculty of Health Sciences, we hope to be able to train young men and young women in nursing, in medicine, in allied health sciences. The exceptional opportunity is in the domain of culture. And I believe that Zanzibar is a cultural jewel. And that cultural jewel needs to be presented to the world in a way which brings admiration, it brings recognition to the history and the peoples of Zanzibar. And this is where, with His Excellency's support and encouragement, I hope that we will be able to do significant work in the Stone Town. I would like, Mr. President, to thank you for welcoming me here on the occasion of my Golden Jubilee, for the lovely gift you gave me of the Zanzibari chest. I remember when I was a child, of these Zanzibari chests were all over East Africa. They caused the admiration, and I have to say sometimes the envy of other people. But it's a lovely tradition, the Zanzibari chest, the Zanzibari doors, the Zanzibari architecture. So you have a jewel here which I think deserves to be recognized and made known to the world at large. I thank you for welcoming me here today, and I hope that our collaboration will develop significantly in the years ahead. Thank you.
The National Public Post Operator has arranged to release a special sum to mark the Golden Jubilee of His Highness Tanzania. The official president cover contains 4 stamps depicting selected scenarios of activities and projects funded by the Other Time Development Network in Tanzania. We have a 4-stamp shilling representing Zanzibar Madrasa Resource Center with kids learning from their mentors. We also have a 600 shilling stamp depicting the Other Times Hospital in Dar es Salaam, located just next to the Indian Ocean and to this State House. We have also released a 700 shilling stamp representing the Lake Manyara Serena Safari Lodge in the north of Tanzania, a few kilometers from Dar es City, the hub of the Northern Tourist Circuit. The first stamp is an 800 shilling stamp that is a picture of the historical and artistic Zanzibar, the Zanzibar Serena Inn.
Allow me, Your Highness, to say once again how happy I am that you accepted my invitation to visit with us in Tanzania on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of your stewardship as Imam of the Shia Ismaili Muslims. I did that for two reasons. I wanted to get the opportunity to warmly congratulate you in person on this happy and memorable occasion, which we are all proud to be associated with. Secondly, I wanted to afford you the opportunity to join your community here in Tanzania, a people who love you so much, a people who revere you in many and indescribable ways. I know you know that through the many visits you have made to this country, but this time they have been a completely different people. I wanted you to see that and feel it live. I'm thankful that you accepted my invitation, and here we are today dining together in a serene atmosphere of the State House. Your Highness, I took the trouble to invite you out of very sincere appreciation that for the past half a century you stood by our side as we struggled in our quest for development. You have been a dependable partner of Tanzania's and Tanzanians' development. You have made invaluable contribution and extended invaluable support to our development endeavors. Mention any of the key social sectors, such as education and health. There is a landmark contribution of Your Highness and that of the Aga Khan Development Network to showcase. There are many Tanzanians today who are what they are because of your generous contribution. They got their education from schools you built or through your sponsorship. And I'm told the minister on my left is one of those beneficiaries. I'd also like to use this opportunity to thank you for the good work being done by your community in the country. They hold an important niche in Tanzania's economic life. We appreciate their contribution so far towards the social and economic well-being of Tanzania. We appreciate it very much and promise to continue to work with them for the benefit of our great nation. Your Highness, you have over the years won many friends and admirers in Tanzania. I'm one of them. You are admired and loved by many for what you have contributed towards the development of Tanzania. You love our country. We know you have a soft spot in your heart reserved for Tanzania and its people. Indeed, the people of Tanzania love you as well. Your deep attachment to our country has always been a source of inspiration and pride to us. We feel proud to have you as a friend, and we feel proud to count on you as a friend. We admire you for your visionary leadership. It is this God's faculty endowed upon you that has engendered so much progress in different parts of the world. I am told, and I know it is true, that many of the things happening bear your signature of conception. There is a hallmark of your great managerial skills in almost everything done by the Aga Khan network, development network. Indeed, you are a unique human person. We are happy for you, and we are happy for what you are doing. We continue to pray to His Almighty Allah to shower you with His countless blessings so that you can continue to serve mankind better in the many ways, in many years ahead. As you may be aware, we have designated education and health as priority sectors for us in government. We want to scale up the provision of these vital services at all levels throughout the country. We've already started with education, and we intend to do the same with health services in the coming years. These are major programs which require huge investments, which we sometimes do not have. So we need more support from you and other strategic partners to enable us to successfully carry them out for the sake and the benefit of our people. It is for this reason that we warmly welcome your decision to join hands with us and build a modern university in Arusha and elevate programs currently being offered by the Aga Khan University in Dar es Salaam. This is good news for us. We thank you so much for that. Allow me, Your Highness, to take this opportunity to assure you of our firm commitment to work with you in ensuring that all programs and projects undertaken by you in our country are fully and successfully implemented for our mutual benefit. We will always be ready to forge a strong and sustainable partnership with you. Let us continue to work together as we have always done. In conclusion, let me thank you once again for coming and for the enduring friendship to our country. We greatly value our relationship with you, which is so special in every sense of the word. We assure you that we are ready to travel the extra mile to consolidate and strengthen this relationship to the benefit of us all. Last but not least, it is my hope that you will enjoy your brief stay in our country as we have always done in the past. Your Highness, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I now request all of you to please rise and join me in a toast. The continued good health of His Highness the Aga Khan, to the friendship between His Highness the Aga Khan and the people of Tanzania.
Let me begin my comments this evening by thanking His Excellency the President for his exceptionally warm and generous speech and comments about me. I am deeply touched, President. I would also like to say how much I have enjoyed these last few days in Tanzania. It is always a great personal pleasure for me to be here, and I am most deeply grateful for your wonderful welcome and your gracious hospitality. The enormous honor you have shown me through the creation of a special stamp to mark this Jubilee is something I profoundly appreciate and will always remember. Today, our work here takes many forms. We work in the medical field through the Aga Khan Hospital and an array of clinics and dispensaries. Our educational institutions serve students and teachers of all ages. We are active in banking and microfinance, in insurance, in tourism, in the leisure field, and cultural preservation. We have been deeply involved in Tanzania, a country that we love. Surely one of Tanzania's great gifts to the world has been its example in building a strong spirit of pluralism among a population balanced almost equally between Christians and Muslims. It is not surprising that the major new survey of world opinion ranks Tanzania among the highest countries in Africa in expressing faith in its democratic future. I have also been impressed by the formulation of your Millennium Development Goals and your success in meeting some of them, whether it is in the increase of more than 6% in the GDP this year, or the fact that immunization rates have climbed past 80%, or that primary school enrollment rates have now exceeded 90%. But each step forward must lead on to new steps. Increasing primary school enrollments, for example, leads inevitably to the need for more secondary schooling. As young people enter the workforce here, 2/3 each year. The fact that only 6% of them enter the wage and employment sector remains an immense challenge. With effective new education and training programs, however, this enormous source of national strength could be unlocked. As you know, the field of education has been a central concern of my tradition, going back to the great institutions of learning, which were such a distinguished part of Islamic history for so many centuries. The challenge of development in education as in other fields is highly complex and it calls for complex responses. We must replace old dogmatic prescriptions with new pragmatic approaches. This is why I say so often that the challenge of development must be a shared experience, one that rests on a cosmopolitan ethic and proceeds in a spirit of partnership. In this light, Tanzania's progress in building a pluralistic society is an important foundation stone for the future. The commitment to cooperate is not only essential among peoples of different ethnic or religious backgrounds, or different classes, or philosophies. We must also build stronger bridges of cooperation between different sectors of social and economic leadership. I am pleased, for example, to be hearing more and more these days about public-private partnerships. As we learn to work across the public-private divide, we can do things together we could never do separately. One effective way in which governments can contribute to this goal is by providing a strong enabling environment for private initiatives at the local, national, and regional levels. It has been a hallmark of Ismaili thinking that the peoples of East Africa can often be most effective when they work and think on a region-wide basis. Many of our AKDN initiatives, in fact, have been organized for some years now on a region-wide basis and with great success. Stronger regional institutions in East Africa can do a great deal to facilitate development. But for this to happen and for the East African community to thrive, the spirit of partnership must also be present when governments deal with one another. We hear constantly these days about the process of globalization in our world. But we should note that this is also an age of enormous regionalization. It is happening in Europe. It is happening in Southeast Asia. It is happening in North America and in many other places. And of course, it is also happening in Africa. East Africa is a place where regionalization can have a particularly beneficial impact. It is good to know that the leaders of the 5 major countries of East Africa have all indicated their strong support for regionalization. The moment is a very promising one. Let me conclude by describing something concrete, one of the most far-reaching of our new initiatives. I do this out of my conviction that the best way to celebrate the past is to grasp the future, and that it is good to make new plans with an eye on their historical context. I am pleased to confirm what the President mentioned earlier, that the Arkan University has taken the decision to build a major new campus in East Africa and to locate that campus in Arusha. This project, I believe, is the first major private sector investment in the East African community since the formal joining of Rwanda and Burundi. It is the biggest expansion step for the Arkan University since it opened in Pakistan almost 25 years ago. The new campus will be built over a period of 15 years with a total investment of some $450 million. It will include a new Faculty of Arts and Sciences and several graduate professional schools. It will be committed to teaching and research of world-class standards. Yes, we're ambitious. Building a university is a very exciting process, but it is no small undertaking. It requires enormous resources of time and talent and treasure. Above all, it requires a sustained long-term commitment. It is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We hope that the university will be a source of effective leadership for the East Africa of tomorrow. We envision students coming from many directions and many backgrounds, living and studying together in a special regional environment, and then going out again with a strengthened sense of personal empowerment and social responsibility. The plans I have been discussing reflect our faith in the future of this region and this continent. In a very specific way, they also reflect our faith in the future of Tanzania and of Arusha, not only as an organizing point for regional affairs, but also as an international focal point of ideas and innovation. Our dream is that the Aachen University, as it expands in East Africa and elsewhere, will play a central role in the great knowledge society of tomorrow. This vision for the future is important to me personally, because it so fittingly honors the past. The great chapters of Islamic history, after all, demonstrate how peoples of a common faith, spread widely throughout the world, have flourished when they embraced and advanced a cosmopolitan society of knowledge. As the 49th Imam of the Shia Imami Ismaili Muslims, I often look back to the words of the fourth Caliph, who was also the first Imam of the Shia Muslims, Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib. Listen to Hazrat Ali's words. No honor is like knowledge. No belief is like modesty and patience. No attainment is like humility. No power is like forbearance. And no support is more reliable than consultation. The passage beginning with the word knowledge and ending with the word consultation sums up my message to you tonight. It is my prayer that all of us, with a common commitment to knowledge and a continuing spirit of consultation, can go forward together to meet our challenges. Thank you. Please may I ask you to join me in a toast to His Excellency the President and to the people of Tanzania.
Jambo, Jambo, Your Highness. Jambo, Jambo, Agapa. 50 years of your reign have gone so fast. Many things have happened, but it's not enough. Thank you for the hospitals. Thank you for the schools. We hear the university's on its way. Wouldn't that be grand?
wote